Hello everybody, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name is Kate and I have been waiting to make this video for a hot minute. I actually have notes on this one, so hopefully it turns out the way I want it to. So if you've never been here before and you don't know who I am a 22-year-old vlogger, but that is my side hustle. I am a marketing manager for a line of salons. I am also a wedding videographer. I am a part-time YouTuber. And I'm a full-time friend. But I wanted to sit down today and talk to you guys about something that is a very, very big passion to me, and that is career and career options, career choices, everything like that. So at the young age of 22, I am the marketing manager for 5 different locations of salons. That is a huge responsibility that was given to me, and I am so grateful for the opportunity that I have to have this position at such a young age. And it took a lot of work to get to where I am today. And so I kind of wanted to just sit down and have a chat with you guys on how I got here, what the steps are that you can take at a younger age, or even at my age right now, or even older than me. Like, what are the steps that you can take that make yourself reliable, trustworthy, a good hire? Like, what are the qualities that you need to prepare yourself on your resume for employers to see you and be like, oh my god, I can't live without them on my team. So I came up with a couple ideas and I am going to share them with you today. Landing your dream job. Whether your dream job be what I do now, marketing, or it be something completely different, photography, journalism, architecture, whatever you think that you want to do with your career, you're gonna have to work to get there. Of course, we all know that, and we're taught from a young age that you have to prepare yourself for it. But when I was in high school, didn't even think about college. When I was in college, that's when I started thinking about my future and what I wanted to do and how I was gonna get there. I'm gonna put out a disclaimer before I get into it. This is just what worked for me. It doesn't mean it's always gonna work for you, and it doesn't mean it's gonna work for everyone. It's a done deal. You can follow these steps to a T and still not have what you need. But these are just like my tips and tricks that I feel worked for me and helping me grow. Before you even start going after everything, you need to get desirable. And that means your resume needs to be so padded that no other company wants to lose you, and they have to have you for that role that you are applying for. So in order to get desirable, you can pad your resume. So that's the first thing I'm going to talk about. Padding your resume could either get you connections, it could get you different skill sets that I'm going to get into later. It can do a lot for you. And when I say pad your resume, this is leadership positions, joining organizations, and working on different skill sets. I'm going to relate a lot of this stuff back to me because it helps me kind of explain it a little bit. So I joined a sorority when I came to Kennesaw. I immediately started looking for leadership opportunities. I joined the sorority for the leadership opportunities, and they did help me a lot, but even going outside of that and working with other opportunities that present themselves to you. So for example, I started YouTube. YouTube for me taught me so much. It taught me graphic design, it taught me video editing, it taught me how to work a camera, it taught me how to market myself through a platform, through words itself. So I made a YouTube channel. I also started taking up little opportunities as soon as they presented themselves. If someone needed a freelance graphic design, I would be the first person to jump on it and be like, I'll do it. If you check it on Facebook or someone posts something on Instagram, just broaden your skill set so that you look more desirable. Next, you need to create your resume. There are 2 different types of resumes. There's your black and white, very cut and dry, these are my skills, this is what it is, and those are good for certain kind of jobs. And then there's creative resumes, and those are usually the pretty designed ones. Sometimes they have a photo of you on it. I know that's a very touchy subject for some people because you don't want to be selected based off of your appearance. It really depends on the field that you're going for. For me, I wanted a creative position. I used Canva to create it, and I used so many great adjectives. Advertise yourself through this resume, but make sure you keep it kind of simple and easy to navigate through. Make sure you're putting every single interesting skill set that you have that makes you different. So if you speak Spanish or you speak another language, put that crap all over the place. Like, what makes you unique? Make sure that's easily being able to be seen. For me, I did graphic design, so making a resume that was super creative really helped me out a lot with that. And also, when you're creating your resume, if it is a more creative one, make sure you kind of show your brand. So I went out on a limb and I made a pink and gold resume. It wasn't disgusting pink, it was like a very light neutral pink, and I just used some subtle pops here and there of gold. And for me, when I got my internship over the summer with denim marketing, so after I got the position, I was talking to one of my managers, I asked her about my resume and what she thought about the super creative one. She told me that it really made me stand out against the other ones because they were like, wait, where was that cool designed resume? Don't always go with the crazy, like, extreme ones, but it worked for me, and so it might work for you if you're going into a field that's creative. And the third one was gaining experience. So gain that experience as much as you can. I talked about it earlier with like picking up jobs as you can. Apply for internships. Even if it's not an internship that you think you're gonna end up doing a career out of, do it just to have it on your resume. And for me, I worked and I loved my internship, but it wasn't going to be a career for me. But I made amazing relationships out of it. I still talk to the people that I worked with. I have amazing references now, and I learned a lot about writing that I didn't know before. I also had graphics published while I was an intern there, so I was able to take those graphics and show them to my current employer. So definitely get experience while you're at a younger age and before you're trying to jump into it. So now we're going to go into during the search. During the process of trying to find this dream job, trying to narrow down your options, all that jazz. Your personal brand is so important when you're looking for a job. You are you. You are different. You are different from every single applicant. So why are you different? Develop that brand. Develop what you want to be seen as, whether it be a color palette, whether it be an online portfolio. Develop you and try to broadcast that through the small fragments that they're going to see when they're looking for someone to hire. Really establish who you are and what you're looking for and what you have to give to that employer. And of course, this can depend on your field. There are so many creatives in the world, so many people that want to go into PR. You really have to establish, this is who I am, whether you're more of like a dark and moody style or like an indie chick or like super girly, like establish that and don't be afraid of it. Be proud of your personal brand. So the next step is to begin applying. Once you have your resume down, you have your references, you have all this stuff ready to sit down and show people. Read the description of the job fully. Read every single detail of it. Think about it. Don't just go on like a mass applying spree on like Indeed or something. Like, I promise you, taking the time to really read through these jobs and figure out what they're looking for is gonna help you, and so you're not having to go to a different job interview every other day and waste your time for something you don't even want. Do back searches on the companies that you're applying for, because you might think it's one thing and it ends up being sales or something like that. Think outside of your typical search box. I wanted a public relations position. I started looking up social media interns. I started looking up marketing. I looked up so many different keywords that could be taken into what you might be looking for. It's just worded differently. So when you're thinking about that, look at your keywords and really take those to heart. Okay, one of the last parts of this section that I want to talk about is being bold. So this is my secret. This is the number one thing that worked for me. And you guys are gonna be like, what the heck, Kate, you are crazy. But I knew about halfway through my senior year of college what I wanted to do. So my junior year, I ended up getting a job at a hair salon. I worked front desk and I loved it. It was the only job that I had had where I actually wanted to go to work every day and it didn't feel like I was working. I truly loved it. By the time I was starting to finish up college and I was about 6 months away from graduation, I already had my foot in the door at a company. So what I did was got my resume together, got all of my knowledge that I already had about the company. I asked to sit down with the higher up CEO of my company. I put together a presentation with my resume, ideas, things that I had done in the past. Every single thing that I have mentioned earlier, I put together in this little presentation. The position that I wanted was not a position that they were hiring for. It was not a position that somebody had and stepped down from, or an open position at all. I saw an opportunity with the company to have a position that they could benefit from. And so they were thinking about hiring someone to do marketing, but they didn't realize all the different things that I could offer them. Because of my experience with my internship, I knew how to write blog posts. Because of YouTube, I can take photo and video. Because of my sorority, I could take a leadership position and not have to worry about not knowing how to be a leader. It was just so perfect. And it is ballsy because what? They could tell you no, they could tell you it's not really a position that they're looking for, but that's the worst that could happen. And at least now you know and you can move on. But for me, it worked. It was amazing. I am so completely blessed and taken aback that it did work for me, but it could work for you too. I know somebody that worked for Chick-fil-A, and she did that all through college and stuff like that. Loved Chick-fil-A, loved the company. When it came time to find a career for her, she already had her foot in the door with Chick-fil-A, so she was able to work for corporate, and she had the experience of what it was like to work in the stores. And that's how it was for me. I knew how to work the different software programs, how to check clients in and out, the kind of clients that we had at each of our locations. It was so much easier for me to move up in a company than starting fresh, and you could definitely do the same. Start with a smaller position in a company, give it a year, give it 6 months, and then try to move up. At least you'll know what it's like to work the smaller positions, and so you'll have more of a soft spot, I guess you'll say, for that position because you know what it's like to work there. Okay, so you got the interview. What are you gonna do now that you got it? How are you gonna prepare for it? What the heck do you do? It's here, it's coming at you. So these are my tips of when you get the interview. And I'm gonna start off with being honest. Be honest on what you were looking for, who you are. Don't lie about your skill set. If you are not a graphics person, don't lie about it, because once you get into the position and they're like, okay, I need you to make this graphic, or I need you to work Pinterest or Twitter. Twitter wasn't for me, Pinterest isn't really for me, but if you tell them it's something that you're not 100% skilled on, but you want to learn, it's a lot better than just lying about it and then being completely taken aback. Just say that that's something that you're definitely interested in learning. Know what you want and also be honest about that as well. If you want a position where you want a Saturday off, or you want a certain amount of hours or something like that, be honest about that as well, because if you end up getting the job and you fling it on them that you want to do something and you can't work a certain day, like, be honest about it, even if it comes to bite you in the butt, because they're going to want to know. For example, what I did is I told my boss I want to work weddings. That is my passion that I just recently have found. I love working them. I want to do weddings. And so my boss, knowing this information now, when I have a wedding that's a 2-day wedding or a destination wedding, and I'm like, hey, can I take a little bit of time off to go shoot this wedding? She's much more understanding than me just flinging that on her 6 months down the road. Do your research ahead of time. Make sure you know things about the company. I cannot stress how many interviews I have sat in where they have asked me what I know about the company. The next thing is dress the part. And this is basically for any position that you go to. If you're trying to interview for a fashion line and you go in with like not something super trendy, but they want you to be the face of like a fashion company, I don't know, a weird example, then you're gonna need to dress the part. If you are going in for a company that wears all black, wear all black so that they can visualize what you will look like in the company every day. Dress appropriate. Make sure your hair is done. Make sure your makeup is done. Like, you don't want to work for a shallow company. I totally get that. I wouldn't want that either. But you need to dress and make sure that you look presentable because you are going to be part of their team. They want to make sure that they have people that they want being the face of the organization when the CEO isn't there. And then last of that section is ask questions. Ask about everything that you can think of, not just pay. Ask about questions that you actually really want to know. Some examples that I've seen online that work really well for people is how to measure success, and also what the leadership style of the company is. I've seen both of those work really well. Don't just ask so that they're like, oh, she's really interested in the position, but actually ask so that you seem like you are very interested in this position and you want to know everything you can know before jumping in. So you got the job. I am so proud of you. Yay, that is amazing. What the heck do you do now? Do you just go to work every day and you're miserable? No, you don't. You love your dream job because you just worked really hard for it. So now that you got it, keep the job, sis. Keep it. And that means work for it every single day. Try to think of new ways to improve the position. Don't just do your day-to-day activities. Offer to stay late. Offer to help out with things that you don't have to offer to help out with. Do all that. And on top of that, ask for touch bases so you can see your progress in the company and look for growth and opportunities for yourself, and create relationships with the people around you. You don't just have to be at work every day. You can make friends while you're at work, and it makes the job so much more fun when you have people that you want to see every day. I'm exhausted. I just talked for like 20 minutes straight, and I don't even think there's anything I can edit out of this video. So this is probably going to be a very long video, and I'm so sorry about that, but I hope it was informational for you guys. I hope that you guys loved it. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them down in the description. Tell me what works for you. If you have a tip that you think is awesome, that you think people could benefit from, leave that down there as well. I know I scroll through people's comments when I'm looking at other videos, so do that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This one is very exciting to me, and I will see you guys next Thursday for another video. I would love it, love it, love it if you could subscribe down below. It would mean so much to me, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!